Hello, everyone. Welcome to High Vibe Time with Ashley and Teresa, raw and unfiltered. How are you today? Thank you for being here. Teresa, how are you?
I'm really good. It's really nice here today. It's like 70 degrees. It's so
Oh,
nice. I love it.
same.
Mhm.
Okay, so today we are talking about grounding and how to ground and what that means and how you do it. Teresa, do you want to start? Do you have a special routine or system or protocol that you use to ground?
I do. I do. I have what I do is, and I don't even know where I heard this from, but I heard it from somebody else, and it just really made sense to me. When I go into meditation, it's about the first thing that I do, and that is I bring my attention down to my feet in the arches of my feet, and I visualize roots growing out of the arches of my feet and down into the ground. And in my mind, I set the intention that I start those growing with every breath that I take, they get stronger and deeper to where they actually go down and connect with Mother Earth.
Mm.
So it, and you know, I visualize them, I can see them. To me, it almost looks like Jack and the Beanstalk. That's what the roots kind of look like. It's weird, but you know, people will see them and visualize them differently. But that's what mine kind of look like. But that's there's several different ways of grounding it, but that's my quickest way that I do almost on a daily basis. When I don't do it, I can tell,
I was
you
about
know.
to
So
ask you how many times, when do you do it? Like you do it first thing in the morning, or does it matter? Do you do it multiple times a day? That's what I was about to ask.
it usually depends on the day, you know,
Mm.
because it depends on how the day is going. I do like to do it every morning just to start my day off as in a grounded, secure spot.
Mhm.
But uh, um, if I feel myself kind of out of control or anxious or stressed or anything like that, grounding is a really good way to help ease that a little bit. So it really does depend on the day and what's going on in that day. So
Yeah,
yeah. How
absolutely.
about you?
It's Go ahead.
I said, how about you? How,
Oh, yeah. Well, I am a yogi, I teach yoga and I've been doing that for a long time. And so my grounding is getting quiet, getting still. And then I sort of do this little routine and I think it's probably just for me because I do yoga, but even in my practice, I'm like, so I start from the top. You start from the bottom, I start from the top. And I sort of release anything that is really got a hold of me that day, whether it's emotions or somebody cut me off driving or holding on to somebody else's energy. And I'm really big on releasing the jaw and the tongue from the top of the mouth, just in the shoulders from the ears. Again, from
Mhm.
that's from my yoga practice, and just letting that go and just sort of letting that slide down. I almost just sort of see it like, you know, sort of taking off this layer of stuff that's sort of
Yeah.
holding me down and just letting it go into earth because I know earth can take it, and can accept that. And then after I do that, that I just explained it way longer than it actually took or usually takes. But then I typically either go to my breath or my heartbeat, and I really focus on that and being where I am right now.
Mm.
And I have grounded anywhere from being in an airplane, to I talk about a story where I was at a wholesale store, a big box store, and it was overwhelming to me with the amount of people and the person that I was with, and I was like, I just need a minute, and I went to the bathroom and I grounded in the bathroom. So we can do it anywhere. It does not take a long amount of time. Um, and it's just refreshing because it just sort of, for me, it just allows whatever is holding me down or dragging me down to just to release that and focus on me being me at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad that you said that about like really that's one of the parts that I forgot is that that's one of the reasons that I really like connecting with the roots to Mother Earth, Gaia, because she is able to take that energy that isn't serving us and we know we need to get rid of and neutralize that energy and hold that energy and use it for good again. And so, yeah, and being able to release and let go of that stuff that just like you being in the store and being overwhelmed, grounding and getting yourself connected allowed that to just kind of flow away. I'm sure it wasn't completely, but it helps really a lot, and it doesn't have to be something that you wouldn't have to necessarily go in the bathroom to do it. I mean, you could walk outside in the grass with there's several different ways that you can do it. But in that situation, that was where you needed to get away. That was
Mhm.
that was the only place where you could get quiet and,
Right.
and time just for yourself. And I totally get it. But yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's very important. That connection, the grounding and the connection really helps let go and take away that stuff that doesn't serve us.
And being outside, you mentioned being outside. What a great way to just there's this, and I don't know, I would think that a lot of us have seen the movie Pretty Woman, and that there's a scene in there where Julia Roberts' character convinced, and his name is losing me at the moment, but the man in the movie that he's a businessman, he's busy, 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 and he doesn't take time for himself, and yada yada yada, and Richard Gere, there we go, and she convinces him to take the day off. And there's a scene in the movie where he takes his shoes off and he's walking around, right, reading the book or whatever, and just contemplating or whatever he's doing. But I remember that scene because, I grew up around a farm, and we were outside all the time, mainly because we weren't allowed to watch TV, the three channels that we had. But I was outside so much. And if you can take just 60 seconds to be outside, to put your phone down and just breathe or close your eyes and listen to see how many birds you can hear or how many heartbeats you have in 60, whatever the case may be, being outside and just physically touching a tree or grass or flower or whatever is just, it takes you out of the mind space that you're in. Sometimes when I'm at work and it's just a crazy busy day, and it doesn't have to be a bad crazy busy day, it's just a lot. I close my door for just a minute and just take a breath, and just
Mhm.
that little bit gets me more focused. It brings my heart rate down. It slows my breathing. I can focus. So it's just a good way to sort of let go of that moment that may be feeling overwhelming or too much, or you just need a breather.
Mhm. I so agree. It's almost like, being able to, I don't know, there really isn't anything to compare it to because when you really get into a good habit of being able to do it, it's almost like being in the shower and it just like rinsing everything away. That's kind of, the grounding is, I don't know, it settles you and
Mhm,
shifts you.
mhm,
And I think that's the most important thing, when you talk about listening to your heartbeat or listening to your breath or, counting your heartbeat, that takes your mindset from the place that you're at now to a different place. And then grounding on top of that is it just, I don't know. If you if you don't have a practice of doing grounding, it is absolutely worth the 5 minutes of your day to take the time. It doesn't even take that long sometimes when you get into the habit of doing it. It is absolutely worth that time and doing it for yourself.
right. And as you said, when you don't do it, you're like, something's off. After you get into a habit of doing it and you don't like it's just one of those mornings that it's just too busy and you don't do it, and you're like, what's so weird right now? What's happening? And you're like, oh, I didn't ground this morning. Oh, okay, I got it.
Mhm.
So you take that
Yep.
time to ground.
Yep. That's so true. I've had that happen numerous times like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So if you're watching and you've never gone through a grounding, we would just recommend, or I would recommend just sitting still, getting quiet, put down the phone, and just close your eyes, take a few breaths. If you can get outside, great. And try out Teresa's way, going from the feet up and grow those roots down. And then if you feel like you want to try a different way, try my way where you start at the top and just let things go the other direction. So, I mean, I don't know that there's a wrong way to do it. Taking the time for you, taking the time to just focus on you and getting centered is so important. And try it out and let us know in the comments after you watch this and try it out. Let us know how it went. And if you need some more suggestions, we'll be happy to answer those. In the description, Teresa and I both have our Facebook groups linked, and you are welcome to come on over and join our Facebook group. We answer tons of questions over there. We both do different lives, Facebook lives, and we have videos and meditations. So feel free to come over to join us over on Facebook. And I did pull a card for this week, and I love this for us. It says experimentation.
Mm.
And I love this because if you were starting your journey, whatever you want to call it, a spiritual journey, a woo-woo journey, whatever you want to call it, that experimenting is how you find your way of doing things. Because just like we talked about, Teresa does grounding a little bit different than I do. I know
Mhm.
she's tried my way. I've tried her way. They both are beautiful. They both did what it needed to do, is grounding. I've been doing it for so long. I just sort of have my pattern of doing things, but I always like to try new things because it may resonate with me, or it may make me feel a little bit different or in a different way. So if you're watching and this is new to you, this is why we created this channel,
Mhm.
and we talked about this just the other day, Teresa, that we feel like there's this new awakening that's happening, and people don't really want to say that they want to learn how to do this stuff, but they really want to learn how to do this stuff, and they don't know where to go.
Mhm.
So we're going all the way back to the basics of starting with grounding and how to ground. And we will have obviously more topics on the basics of starting your own spiritual journey, whatever that looks like for you, and everybody's is different.
Yeah. And I love the card because, and I love the balance that we have of doing things a little bit differently in a lot of different areas, but it still works. And
Yeah.
so with the card, it's like do the experiment. Try one time my way and then try one time Ashley's way. And whichever way feels right to you, or maybe, just taking your shoes off and walking in the grass is what feels right. Whatever feels right to you, that's what you're supposed to do. And so I love the card for today and the experiment because it is an experiment, and just kind of walking through them to see which one resonates with you and which one sits with you the right way, because there's not a right or wrong. It's just whatever feels good. So I love that. It was a great card for the day. And yeah, I I think this is going to be helpful for the people that are just starting to awaken and get those grasp on things. So
Absolutely.
let us
Absolutely.
know if you have any questions.
Yes, let us know if you have any questions, or if you tried out either one or both of our ways to ground. And if you have another way, let us know that too, because we'll be happy
Oh,
to
yeah,
try that out. So hope you all have
absolutely.
a great rest of your day, and we will see you soon.
Bye.